Hello, everyone. I thought I would read to you the blurb as it currently is for my book, The Ecstasy and the Ignominy. Set in the 19th century, The Ecstasy and the Ignominy explores the agonies and tribulations of the people of Harrisville, an industrial town on the brink of revolution. Catherine Harris, the wife of a wealthy industrialist, is tempted by the sympathy of Edward Compton, a man disillusioned by life. Their forbidden passion unfolds against the backdrop of a tumultuous insurrection, testing loyalties and breaking alliances. And so that's the blurb as it currently stands. Of course, have never really been all that good at blurbs because it's very difficult to condense a complex plot into a paragraph or two. Like I left out the character of Desmond Archer, who is also a very important character. That there are three that the book is told through first person point of view, and there are three point of view characters: Catherine, Edward, and Desmond Archer. And Desmond is someone who he's the vocal point really of the revolution, and and you see a lot of the revolution through his eyes. Edward's involved in it as well, but because there were so many scenes where it wouldn't make any sense for Catherine or Edward to be there, so Desmond kind of represents that. And there's a subplot where he's trying to con this landlady by seducing her and taking her money, and then he he is best friend he is best friends with or at least he thinks he's best friends with Edward Compton, and he feels a sense of betrayal later on, and so there's that storyline, and then there's the character of Bertrand Shaw, who is a philosopher, who is kind of the vocal point of the revolution. He's the leader of it, and he convinces the people in this industrial town to kind of rise up. And then you have the character of Reverend Hartstone, who is this he kind of manipulates people religiously into accepting the insurrection, and so all of those characters are vocal points of, and there are other little smaller subplots that, of course, can't be mentioned, and then, of course, you also deal with Frederick Harris, who is the husband of Catherine Harris, and his reaction to her growing love for Edward Compton. And so it's a very complex story on that level. It's kind of like if you combined the book Anna Karenina and The Tale of Two Cities and put them together. Of course, this book, I'm not exactly sure where it takes place. I'm thinking maybe in the coast of Oregon or Alaska. It's a place where there are snowy mountains by the sea. There aren't very many places in America like that, but there are some in Oregon and Alaska, because I wanted it to be in a landscape that was visually very striking, but it also had to be in a place isolated enough to where a revolution could happen in this small town and not a whole lot of people would know about it. So in some ways, it's an historical piece, but it also has elements of what you might call fantasy as well. It could be considered kind of an historical fantasy. It's almost in no man's land. I mean, in another world almost. I think North America is mentioned once. And other than that, you don't really know exactly where you are, other than the fact that you're in Harrisville. And so again, the book though is in many ways what you could consider to be a romantic tragedy with elements of an historical epic. And so that is my overall summary of The Ecstasy and the Ignominy.